Mic on?
I don't know
Who's Mike?
Ah!
Same brainwave. Oh, good. We got the
I
slopping
know.
of the water in the
I
background.
thought it was just you sitting down.
Wet for life, you know?
Imagine having sitting down.
Ew. And turned off. I am no longer wet for life. What up, Ashley? What up, Georgette? Ashley came on this one.
Of course, she came on yours first.
It's a little delayed on yours. Yeah. The sister thing. Gross.
Incest is best.
What's your... Never mind. No, you know what? Fuck it. What's your take on twins?
Twins?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. I don't know if I can disappoint two people at one time in the same family.
Too late. I just said I did what? I'm so glad you're awake now and not 4 hours before.
Oh no.
I checked on Barn today and he was just like all over me. I was like, did you miss me? How are you? We already know how you are.
It was an exciting a couple of weeks for us. Okay, so you had the plague.
And Kelsey had the plague.
I don't even remember how the lives went. I just know we had a family emergency. My dad fell down the stairs, went to the hospital. Dad's doing good, had surgery, back on his well, I wouldn't say his feet, but really his feet. And I did a live with Ashley. And you were on the other side because you were dying. No, was it you dying of the plague? Or
I was still like sick, but it was like I would have been able to do it.
Right.
But then Kelsey got it.
Yeah, and then Kelsey got it. It was like, keep away, I have the plague.
Yeah. And then with your dad being, I was like, I don't really want to.
No. And
you're one thing, but
we like Bob. We don't like you.
My heart was out for Bob.
Ashley said thanks for stopping by. Was she even there? Or did you just
No, I went to.
She just stopped by.
Why are you doing this? Don't do this now. You hear a little cat scratch in the back.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a battle.
Last week was a snowstorm too.
Yes. Okay. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Okay.
I'm fucking sick of all the snow.
Okay.
Like it's not a lot. It is a lot, but it's not a lot. Okay, but it's just so frequent. Like, get it all out of your system, you know.
Okay. So I have the business, and so I usually shovel my driveway because our snowblower isn't the best snowblower. So, and because I try to explain, if you do the middle, like the big section of the middle of the driveway, because it's not a driveway, it is a business parking lot. There's no place to throw the snow because it doesn't go far enough. So you're basically throwing it to kind of go over it again, to throw it again, which then it just becomes slop, and then it just becomes sleets of ice coming out. So it's
a great theory, bad execution.
Yeah. So I get don't worry, we're just going to have like an inch or maybe 2 inches on the coastline. And you go, oh, okay. I come out and I'm like, I am shoveling and moving it to areas that I normally can't, because I usually just kind of like push it because I have a big thing. Yeah. I'm picking it up, moving it to another, dumping it, coming back, scoop it, move. I'm like, okay.
How's your back?
I got through it. It took me almost 2.5 hours, and I got it done. Then we got we're not going to get any snow. It's going to turn to rain. Don't worry about it. It's going to turn to rain. Oh, okay. oh, if we do, we'll get a dusting. I wake up and there's like 1 inch of snow. No, this time it was like the 1 inch,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, I'm opening. I jogged the whole thing. Luckily,
Oh
I took the shovel.
is that why you're looking like a skinny legend right now?
Yeah, because I'm on cocaine. I was up to 3 weeks.
Good for you, bestie. We love the cocaine diet.
I drink just to get back to normal. I do that nice up or downer.
Perfect. I love that for you. What a great life.
Oh, like out there.
Who's your guy? I'm just kidding.
No, because after I was done, it looked like I was doing like in the front because I just quickly did it. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, it looked like I was doing lines out there. It's like all these lines from the shovel.
Yeah.
I'm like, good enough. And then this morning, I was like, fuck it. If snows, then it's gonna be on the driveway. I'm not doing it. I was like, my legs were from the big heavy snow. My legs were burning. I was just like, I'm done. I got so tired, I got overtired. Mm-hmm. Have you ever got like that overtired where you're like, I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. I close my eyes. Like you keep your eyes open and you're like, go to sleep. You close your eyes and all you feel like is la 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 la, and then you open your eyes like, we're so tired. Why is your eyes
That's how I felt
open?
when I was sick because I went from like running around town I normally do, to like you're in bed.
Yeah, like you hit the wall. It's like boom.
Which like the first day and like between like all the fevering, you're like once you're like spiking, you're like, okay, I need to be in bed. But then like in between, like when you're taking like everything to calm it down, it's like
I know, you're just like, God,
hi,
sweet bitch.
And it's like I see 1 a.m. I'm up until 4 a.m.
The worst.
And then Kelsey's up at 6 a.m. to get
The worst for me was, all right, okay, I gotta do A, B, C, D. Fine, A, B, C, D. I fall asleep. I wake up. Oh crap! It's only 12:36. Nice. I still have the rest of the night to close my eyes. 1:15. Oh, okay. I still got lots of time to sleep. 2:50. Oh, still I got lots of time. I was waking up not every hour on the hour, but somewhere in that hour, I kept waking up until I woke up. And I was like, it's 5:55. I'm gonna have to wake up like in 20 minutes. I'll go to sleep. Oh, beep, I'm awake. Like
I woke up at 2:30 this morning, and I've been up since then.
Oh, I know. It's just like, come on.
Well, last night, okay. Well, Kirby sleeps with us, which I don't care about, but he likes to sleep. Like sometimes he goes back and forth between us.
Right.
But when he does cuddle you, he sleeps paws in.
Oh yeah.
And he stretches every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And like, I wear a t-shirt and like shorts to bed. Right. So like last night he kept like moving my shorts and like scratching me out.
Like loose?
Yeah, like loose. Yeah. I don't like tight. Come on. Now.
Well, no, I just mean like there's t-shirts and then there's like the,
No, I like oversized everything for bed.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So he was keeping me up because he had to stretch every 5 seconds.
Right.
Then Kelsey still has that cough. Right. So she's hacking up a lung.
Right.
And I have a little melody in my head. And I'm like, well, maybe if I turn over this way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, maybe if I turn back over here. If I turn this way. And I couldn't get comfortable. And it was too hot, but if I took something off, I was too cold. Oh, because I also slept with my robe on.
Oh, yeah. Don't you hate, this happens to me a lot lately. Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah, I got the spot. Here it is. I got the spot right here. Right here. I'm wide awake. Mm-hmm. All right, now the spot's not good no more. Yeah. No. And then you roll and you're like, oh, here it is. I got the spot. Yeah. Oh, everything feels so good. I feel my whole body. I'm awake now. Okay. All right. It's okay. We're going to roll back to our first spot again.
The other night, he had cuddled up to Kelsey.
Right.
And she was just scrolling on her phone. And then I was like, okay, good night. And I had just gotten to like that comfy spot. And she's like, I don't get a kiss.
Oh.
And I was like,
no.
I guess. And she's like, well, I can't move. I have him. And I'm like, you fucking bitch right now. Are you kidding me?
The worst in the world is when you wake up that first crazy hour in the morning and you're looking at the clock, and then it goes, boom, I gotta pee. Boom, you can feel it, and you're like, but if I get up, I have to wake up.
Well, last
like,
night,
because you're you already woke up, and then your mind says, "Oh yeah, you gotta go pee." And it's like,
and then you're hungry,
and then you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna hold it," and you're like, "But I need
I
to
held mine from 2:30 until 7 because I could not do it anymore." But when I get up, he's up.
Oh yeah.
If Kelsey gets up,
yeah.
you fucking bitch, come on. So like I couldn't get up in the middle of the night, otherwise he just would have been up, and I didn't want to wake Kelsey up.
I think I've seen every hour, every night for the last 3 weeks between Barnes and I being sick. Yeah. That's the worst. I know. Now, I actually told the story to your sister. I think I've already told you, but there was a night where my dog got sick. I was drunk, and they were like, they had got sick and I had put them in. They were little puppies at the time. Mm-hmm. When I say puppies, like within a year, I think Guglielmo was a year and a half. I think Rocky was 6 months. So they were kind of still in their young age. Well, one decided to blow it all out, and one decided to they just stomped in it. And I was like, ugh. And I came home drunk as a skunk.
What up, Jack?
Hey, Jack. And I was drunk as a skunk. And I landed up, brilliant idea. It was like, oh yeah, take a shower. And I wash the dogs. And I'll take a shower too. And I'm in the shower with these 2 dachshunds. And I'm drunk. And I'm like, it's like, there's nothing worse when you're not all there. They're sick. You're sick. And so that was like a thing. Can we I want to talk about our conversation about Ashley doing the live with me.
Okay.
That was priceless.
What happened?
You don't remember?
Refresh my memory.
All right. So you said you were sick, and I
was okay. You're talking about the text
funny.
Message. Yeah. I thought you meant earlier.
Yeah, and I was being super funny and said, well, I could do it with Ashley. Mm-hmm. Like, just trying to be funny. She went MIA.
Yeah. She was talking before.
Right. She was talking to us. Now, I know why she went MIA. Do you know why?
No.
Okay, but I know why she went MIA, right? Barnes was also sick at that time. Something was going through him. Not sick, just going through his stomach. So he was having accidents. But she went MIA. And you and I just went on a field day of like...
Ashley said...
No. We had all these like...
Ghosting, like following... going in the hedges.
We were nonstop. And I was like...
I was like crying laughing.
And when I found out, like, she was like, oh, I was cleaning up mess. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh no, don't do that. I get ruined. How funny. Like, her was like, no.
And then Ashley was like, sorry, I was doing something. And that's totally fine. We're like, uh-huh. Sure.
And we were like nonstop. Like, I laughed so hard at that thinking. And then when she's like, oh, and then when I talked to her that day, when I went, she's like, no, I was really clear. I wasn't even next to my phone. I was like, it was so much funnier.
You ruined it now.
It was like so much funnier thinking you were like, no.
I'll let him any excuse.
I'll let him sweat a little bit. He was so funny.
Well, and then you did, and that was a good.
Yeah, how did it feel being on the other side?
It was really weird.
Did you?
So, one little thing.
Oh yeah.
When I watch lives, I usually scroll out and like do something, and then come back into it or whatever. Right. I was like, I can't do that this time. You fucked up.
She's like, wait, oh wait, no. She's like, oh, no.
But like usually, like I'm doing something while I'm watching a live, but like I didn't have to. I could have done something if I wanted to, but I was like, I feel like I need to like really like engage in this. But so Kelsey and I decided finally that we're gonna watch all the Marvel movies.
Okay, in order or just
in timeline order?
Timeline order. Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
So
I've never had that energy, but that's really good. Like, no,
well, it kind of fucking sucks that they started with Captain America. Let me just put that out there.
Well, that's how we all start.
Actually, I get it.
Actually, in real life, if you really want a comic book fan, you would start with Fantastic Four. So you're starting a little bit better down the road, trust you me.
Well, I'm just letting you know that Captain America is the worst 2 hours of my entire life. But...
Well,
the best part was the fucking fucking last scene. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was falling asleep.
Well, you do know they didn't make that one first. They didn't make that one first.
I know.
Timeline. If you had watched the not timeline, you would have been more invested because you would be like.
But it's a good fucking thing that Kelsey showed me Spider-Man before that. Because if I just went into it like starring Marvel this way, I would have been like, fuck that. I'm not watching any of that. That would have just turned me right off. Yeah. But I was sitting there and Kelsey was over here because I was still like in that period where I could have gotten my fever back, which I ended up getting my fever back.
He's like, I had a plexiglass.
Pretty much. But I'm like falling asleep watching this movie. And Kelsey's like, do you want to turn it off? We can watch it tomorrow. I'm like, if you turn that movie off, it's not going back on. So you better watch this fucking movie. I'm like, I'm not stopping this movie. This is a terrible movie.
Yeah, I think about it, and I guess you're kind of right, but it's not. Because if you watched when they came out, it wasn't a terrible movie because you already were invested with the Iron Man.
Right.
So you're already like, oh, Captain America comes. Okay, it's your origin story. Origin stories for me are always like, first of all,
but I feel like nothing happened.
I feel like I hate it because the origin stories are all the ones I feel like we all, not all, but I feel like I know them all.
Yeah.
So it's always like, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. It might not be exactly, but these are the things they're gonna touch.
And I get that it was his origin story, and I understand like the process of how he became it, whatever.
Right. But
I felt like it could have stopped in the middle. Like, why did we have to add a whole nother hour to that movie? There was a whole extra hour. It was just fucking useless. Like, why is this movie still on? I paused it to go do something.
Come back.
And I'm like, we're not even halfway through this movie. Are you kidding me right now?
But I will say to you, part 2 for Marvel, for me, is always, like, more storylines were always better.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the best comics I ever read was when they actually, so what happened, it's like a TV show years ago in comics. So what they would do is they would do a bunch of like, okay, this is the storyline, blah, blah, blah. And you'd be like, okay. And you just be like, oh, got the bad guy, did this, did that. And then all of a sudden you do the team matchups where, Rocket Raccoon, because in my day, Rocket Raccoon was not part of the Guardians. He was just a hero that would come in and you go, oh, it's a raccoon. He talks. Great. Or whatever. And you read the storyline and it would have a little bit of his backstory because that's how they introduced new comics was through the old comics. So there was always like, for example, Deadpool didn't have his own comic. He did the guest star thing. And then they go, oh, I love him.
What can I say? Barnes love a dramatic moment.
Yeah. So we're sitting there and you read it and then you'd get to the point where the storyline would come. And that storyline would be the one you would cling on to because you knew the next 20 episodes were all going to be about this. And then if it was a good one, it would always tie with someone else's comic that made you always kind of be like, I have to keep buying this one because this, and that's when it got good. But it was like a TV show. You went through a period of like,
Well, we watched Captain Marvel, and I was like, this movie is a lot better than the second, and then the other one. It's not great. It's not great. I
don't like Captain Marvel. Not because it's a girl. It's because the storyline is so changed from my day.
Yeah,
because
I can see that for you.
Right.
But I don't know anything about it, so I was like, it's all right. It's a lot better than the last one. It's not my favorite.
No.
But it's cool piecing like McFury and like how he has like the bad eye.
Yeah, and then you start going with that.
Right.
It does.
And like as things happen, I'm like, no way, that's all that happened. Yeah. Like I like that.
Yeah, no, it is. But then you get the ones where you just kind of go, like the fillers. Like for me, Iron Man 2 is a filler. I hate Iron Man 2. Like Iron Man 2 is like, every time I watch it, it's like, yeah, I get it. I have to watch this because this is where we meet this, and this is where we meet that, and there's this. But I'm like, it's just this, all of it's like, this is yuck. It's the same thing with Thor. I thought the first one was so dramatic, and then the next ones were so funny.
Yeah.
And like lighthearted.
I'm only on Iron Man
I know.
right now, so don't give too much away.
No,
okay?
no, but the first one he talks really like a real god. Like he's like, give me spirits, like like crap like that, and you're like, okay. And then later on you're like, you don't talk that way anymore.
Ashley said I think Iron Man 3 was worse than Iron Man 2, personally.
Iron Man 3. Yeah.
I think I've seen Iron Man before.
Yeah.
Because I think like a lot of what's happening, I'm like, I feel like I watched this. So I must have watched Iron Man at some point. Maybe like while somebody else was here or something. But
it's so weird because I think
maybe did I watch it with you, Ashley?
I have this thing, being totally honest, is that I think when I've watched Marvel throughout the years, it's like the comic. Once you get to a certain point, when you look back, all the beginning sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, it's
a backstory.
It's like such a climax when you get the big story that it made everything in the beginning like, well, that was a fucking waste of time, but it wasn't, because you had to build, and that's what I feel like a lot of people. That's why a lot of people don't read comics anymore, because it's why do I have to read 20 episodes? It's like, because it's building, and that's what you have to do, because then when you get to that climax of the story, it's the highest peak you can be at, and you're like, and you have to crash after it.
Right.
Because I'll never ever forget being in middle school, and I think I'm in 7th or 8th grade, and getting the Infinity Wars, Infinity Goblet, where Goblet is when they have to go get the glove. They have to go get the glove. They don't even show that in any of the movies, but they had where Thanos was trying. They were all fighting so he didn't get the glove. And then in my comics, there's two, and that's the other thing. They rebooted it, all that series again.
I think it's because I can't stand Gwyneth Paltrow, so Iron Man 3 was my least favorite Iron Man.
I'm not a big fan of her either.
What the fuck does she look like? I know like who she is, but I can't picture what she looks like.
She's the one that the candle smells like her vagina.
What? Yeah, I know that, but I need to know what she looks like. Well, I know her.
She has a candle that smells like her vagina.
That. I want to know what she looks like.
You don't need to know what she looks like if you own a candle that smells like your vagina. I just
well, I needed to know
what she looks like. She looks like a type that had a candle like your vagina. Like, where do you burn that? Oh, interesting smell. What is this? I'd be like, oh, that's.
You know what I just pictured?
That's Gwyneth.
When you said
vagina being burnt right now. Think about how do you say that when someone walks into the room? Oh, that's an interesting smell.
That's Gwen's badge. Gwenny.
Like, how do you? When she ever came out with that, and that's on that Gloop or whatever it was, not
on the what?
Gloop. Isn't that her name of her store or her website? Gloop or Glop?
Anyone? I don't
well,
fucking care.
I could get it after having a candle. Of course, it's gonna go Gloop or Glop.
Did you want to share our conversation from earlier? Or is that just an us thing?
Which one? Because which one?
Tucking out of your ass.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
How did that even start?
I don't know. Oh, my gosh.
You need to tell me, because I don't understand. I don't remember how that happened.
Oh, my gosh. We have the worst conversations. And you know what?
Oh, we were talking about speech. That's what it was.
Right. We were talking about speech. And I was talking about when I was a kid, therapists, I don't remember my mom doing it, but she probably did, used to take popsicle sticks or tongue depressors, which was basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And they put them in your mouth, and then you would make like, like they would make your lips and your mouth and your tongue do things you weren't doing. And I remember being like, because of that wooden thing, and you were saying right away about
like I would
throw up. We talked about gagging. And then you went.
No, and then we talked about BJ's.
No. You said, no. You said, "You can't do that. I'm gay."
Oh yeah, I'm gay.
And I said,
no, because I was like, you
even
should see
if
me
you
get a
weren't,
strep
it'd
test.
be on the side and just the tip.
So then you said that you went to BJ's.
Right.
And you never, I was like, oh, blowjobs. And you said, I've never gotten one there. I was like, well, did you enter through the rear?
Right. And I said, oh, I thought it would be too tight. No.
Never too tight.
And I was like, you don't seem the type that you're okay. Not my mouth, but the other side, I am 100%.
I said, you can't gag through your ass.
I can't gag through my ass. And I was like, yeah, you can.
What are you doing? I'm gagging.
We're going. She goes, what are you doing? I'm gagging through my ass. I was like, what? And the best part
Watch out for the uvula down there.
Instantly have a moment of going. We look at each other and go, I can go farther. Oh, I can go farther too. We get together and it's instantly 5-year-olds.
How far can we go?
Yeah,
when is it too far?
Yeah.
Just with Jesus.
When Jose is cool, we're out. Jose, we're out.
Right.
Oh God, when I ever said, you don't look like the type that gags at that end. Oh yeah.
Mind your business, bitch. You don't know me. Don't underestimate a gay woman.
Oh, too bad Brian was on. She goes, oh, I feel you, girl.
I'm sure he gags from both ends.
Yeah, that's so bad.
Or maybe he does the gagging from both ends.
I don't know. But
well, I don't know things anymore. I couldn't remember if I finished that, so I was gonna go for this. I was like, let me just check.
Speaking of that, double fisting them. We get so bad, and it's amazing. And I always just think to myself, and I can't tell Shannon half the stuff because she's just goes, "What are you two ever talk? How do you even start?" I was like, Shannon, it's funny. Just laugh at it. Why do you have to know how it starts?
Right. We don't even know how it starts.
I know. We're like, how do we? And then we have to totally backtrack it.
Yeah.
We're so bad.
Like, where were we? What were we talking about? Half the time we just like that conversation's gone. We moved on.
Oh, that is so. You know what I used to be really bad at is I used to be like that when I wrote the story. I would write the story, do the episode, move along, and someone said, "Hey, remember that episode?" I'm like, "No." Well, like
episode?
when you wrote, I'm like, "No." Like I've reread maybe 3 times, and each time I'm like, "Yeah, I remember all these pictures, but I don't remember what I wrote. I remember the pictures, I don't remember the dialogue." Mm-hmm. It's like as soon as it's out, and then I can't remember it.
That's okay.
But I remember the pictures. I can tell you like each story. I can tell you each storyline, like the storyline. I just don't remember exactly what I said.
Yeah. Well, that'd be pretty impressive if you did. Just like memorize like a book and just spit it out. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's my book. Like I wrote it.
That doesn't mean you know word for word what the fuck you said.
We can't even remember what we were talking about.
Right. There's no way there's a whole novel in your head.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's always one that seems to be just rewriting and go over and rewriting and go over, rewriting, go over in my head. There's like always pictures of things and.
But what I'm saying is there's
no. I know. But I can tell you quotes from books and movies. I could probably.
Yeah, but not the whole fucking book and movie.
Almost the whole movie. I love Spaceballs. I can almost do the whole thing of Spaceballs.
Okay, Brian. Where are you going?
No, but I am so excited. We got into this new TV show I never thought we got into. I got into it. Now Shannon's into it. I'm like, yes.
What is it?
It's called What We Do in the Shadows. Oh my gosh. It's on Hulu, FX, or it's on Disney too because there's.
I fucking hate that. Don't get me started.
No, preach, girlfriend, preach. I know you're gonna preach about, so preach.
If I'm paying for 2 different subscriptions,
right,
keep the subscriptions separate, and that's how I feel about it. And I've always said that.
I'm sorry, you were gagging. What was that?
Through my ass.
Is that why it came out? Yeah. No, I agree with that though. If I have to pay for Hulu,
like my Hulu should not be on my Disney Plus.
Right. because I have to pay for Hulu.
Right.
So why am I?
So if it was a bundle all in one, then I guess you're Hulu.
Should be
Plus.
if it's bundled all in one, it should be
Disney Lulu. You know what I'm talking about? Just Lulu, you know. Plus.
Do.
This who?
This who? Plus.
This who? Da who?
And for the frisky pins, Yahoo. Oh, that's the website.
Right. No copyright here.
Oh no! But I did. I read.
Are you Yahoo guy? Or Bing?
Okay.
Remember when Bing was
yeah? Okay. So I'm going to really good at so.
I'm straight up Google.
Okay. So I'm going to throw this out because I can remember this. I remember.
You're definitely an ask.com.
She's an AJ, not a BJ. Hey, Miss Job. You're turning so red.
Yeah, because I can't fucking breathe.
Your mom just came on.
Did you?
No. No, I'm just kidding.
Welcome to my gag gas.
It's not the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, we have so much time.
So,
Linda's on.
We're out. Bye. Scene.
What were we talking about?
All right, so I remember when it first, I remember getting my first computer, home computer.
Okay. Yep.
And it was 2000 for me. For me, I remember it was actually, I believe, a Christmas present for the house the first year I was married. I'm almost positive it was. So I remember going and doing the AOL. So if you searched anything, it was always AOL search because you were on AOL already. And then I
got mail.
Or that.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, not yet. I gotta do it again. It's Friday night. Too many people are on.
Right.
Okay, and so I remember that. So I remember you'd look for everything because AOL had an AOL search bar, and you would just click onto that.
Yeah.
So, and I don't even know. I'm sure there was Google because here's where it goes. There was Google, but it wasn't
popular.
It wasn't like it was.
Yeah. What are you doing? Hey.
We're gonna chew
Get over here.
Shoes.
Kirby, come here.
He's like, I'm chewing on shoes. Leave me alone. So I remember, and then it went to Yahoo. Everything went to Yahoo, and it was I remember your dad go, "Oh, you got to click on the Yahoo if you're going to go anyplace." It was like the thing you would type up something and it would take you anywhere.
Yeah.
And then after that, I remember going to that Bing, and I remember Bing was for like a blink, and it was gone because I was like, okay. And I remember.
Well, I think Google was before Bing.
Right.
But then Bing was like, you got to use Bing. You got to use Bing.
Right. And then
everyone was like, fuck that.
Right. And then as soon as you did it, you were like, oh. And then it was like Google, and then it was like I don't remember not being Google after that, but I remember it's being. But I remember being like, okay, I don't remember Google being as big as it is. I just remember kind of I don't remember everyone being like, oh, you got to be on top. You got to be on. I don't remember just it was you type it and you would scroll 5 pages. Now it's if you're not on your generation, if it's not on that first click, you're not.
Amen.
I don't know how many.
And now the AI's in the beginning. I don't like that.
Oh yeah, I hate that stuff.
that.
I don't like the AIs because the AI kind of gives you the information, which is fine.
But it's not always the information that you want.
Right. And I feel
you still have to click on something else.
Google got harder because Google is not. So I feel like you could have Googled fat cat, right? Just say fat cat. Now you write fat cat, and it's you can find the restaurant, or something like that, and then you have to write No, I want fat cat. And then you would have to be, and then sometimes even that third word isn't. So you have to have that fourth word. And I find Shannon and I die laughing because I was a basketball player that was talking about his brother and that his mom took him to the courts all the time. And I went, I didn't know he had a brother. Let me see. So I Googled it, right? Now I have an Android. So I Google it. It says he doesn't have a brother. And I went, oh,
What?
but I just heard him say on an interview.
Yeah.
So I asked Shannon to look it up, and it says he has two brothers. I'm like, what the? I'm like, what? And so I had
brother.
So I had to put the man's name.
Yeah.
I had to put NBA, and I had to put younger brother, and then I got all his information. And I was like,
see, back in the day,
right?
They like I remember being in like library, bitch. And do you remember when the different colored Googles were a thing?
Yes, I do remember that. I do.
Yeah. But anyway, so I remember being in library. I forgot it.
Fuck your colors. We're trying to remember.
Yeah, let me get my sentence out.
We're in the.
And they're like, if you need to like really like find something, it's like put a period in between each. Don't put spaces. Don't do this. Right. This, that, and the third. And now like we're back to that. And that's just to find something simple.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
like before you could just like scroll forever and then.
The other thing is too, is that I feel like years ago it'd be like let's say it's Sexiest Man Alive. Automatically, you click on Sexiest Man Alive, it'd be People magazine because they have people, and it'd go, oh, okay, People. Now, Sexiest Man Alive is like all these people, and People's on the bottom, and you're like, but people like your generation won't scroll that far, and then it's like, I didn't know it was a magazine. There's something scary over there?
Got the zoomies. He's like, hey, hi, I'm here.
I don't like
part of the podcast.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't like you. Go ahead. I don't like you.
You know the one thing that pisses me off about Google?
What?
Is like when they have anything for any type of like national whatever the fuck it is day.
Oh.
And you like go to scroll up or click on the search bar, but then it moves like a centimeter or whatever, and now you're clicked on that thing, and it's like, I don't fucking care about your holiday. Let me search what I need to search.
No, the best was I wanted to see the score of the Super Bowl because I turned it off early. So and then of course
I went to bed.
It was it's over, and I went, oh, I missed the last couple of minutes. Like I could care less, but I knew who was going to win. But I wanted to see the final score because let's face it, the final score is never what the whole game is about, you know. So I click onto it, and as I'm sitting there, it's like all these fireworks. I'm like, what the hell's going on my screen? It's like the thing comes up in the corner, like, you want like fireworks for what? Why do I because a team wins? I have to have fireworks going on.
They just send them to your house.
I'm outside.
Oh, we have war. Who's talking through their ass right now?
I don't like you.
Me too.
So I don't know. It's definitely. But I remember Google used to have these things where that was the other thing where they don't have it. I don't think, at least I don't see it as much. You know how you talked about the little thing in the corner or something that would have it years ago when it was on the computer, it would be right here, but it would do something. So it'd be like a little thing, and you'd be like, and God forgive you had a slow computer because that's what happened a lot back then. Like the little thing would be taking up. You're like, come on, finish. I can't type and hit something until you're done with this little show because of
that nobody fucking cares about.
It's always something.
I'm not here for your show. I'm here to ask a question.
Wait a minute. I want to ask you, Sarah Ashley. I'm going to ask you because you're a little bit. You're around my age. Well, no, I'm not around
you're my age.
You're older. You're older than you, right? But do you remember?
4 years.
It's enough. It's a lot. Trust me. I'm older than Shannon for 5 years, and half the time she's like, "I don't remember that." I'm like, "I don't know where you were." That was like big in my day. I love your dog thinks he's a cat.
Yeah, all the time. If these are closed, Okay. He will stare at me and then stare at this. He's like, bitch, open those. And he just loves to look outside. We're not going outside right now.
Do you remember when
you had 20 minutes? Are you kidding me? Kirby.
Perfect. Do you remember when Google used to come up with like a design for the holiday, right? And then there was always be like, no, like excuse me, like Martin Luther King Day. You know right away. You'd be like, what? And then there was always this one holiday you'd go, what the hell's that?
Which one? Because the rest of the year, it's like, what is that?
You know, like, what is that one? And it's like something you've never seen before. I don't know. It's like something, and then you click onto it, and it's like, and this day, this woman found
What's it today?
Like something.
Oh,
see, it's gonna be normal. But and I remember they would have like this design,
this whole,
and
like,
you would go, and you'd go, and you know, like every design would make sense. Right. Like, you know, like Halloween would have like, and you go, okay, it's Halloween. Martin Luther King Day, you go, okay, Martin Luther King, because it would be like a little Martin Luther King in the circle or something.
Yeah.
And like, or they did one for a famous woman. I can't think what it is, but they would have, and you see a little picture, and you go, okay. Or they would have something, and you recognize it like this, and then one day, just out of the blue, you're like,
what the fuck is that?
And then you spend like half your time clicking onto it, and then you're like, what is that? And it's like,
what am I here for?
Joe Smith was born on this day, and you're like, who the hell is Joe Smith? And you're going through, and you're like, I don't give a shit. I was like, why did we get here?
Yes.
It's like the first guy who made the first paperclip. You're like, really? We're really stretching it now, huh?
Well, they only go so far. Then you need a binder clip. I've always said that.
Always. But
never tight enough.
Depends which end.
But sometimes stretch is too far. Depends on what we're talking about. And by the time you read through everything, you forget why you were even on the Google in the first place.
Yeah, I hated that. And it was always something like all green or something. You're like, why is it all green? It was always something that you didn't expect. Like, why is it all that?
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, what the hell is this? Because everything would make sense except that it's like 4 every year or 5 every year. Something. It's enough that it just catches you off guard, and you're like, what the hell is this? Why is it all green?
Right.
And they're like,
a lot of the times I would search what I was searching for and then forget to go back and like, why is it like that? You know.
Then the next day you're like, oh yeah, it was green yesterday. Oh, I never know why it was green.
Oh well, anyone know why?
And then you have to Google why was it green, and then you're like, the color green comes from blue, and you're like, no, why was the Google green?
Never mind, I'll wait until next year when green.
Because then again, you got to do like, you know, the whole why is Google green? Google green because it believes in the environment. You're like, no, I want to know why the word Google is green. The O is green because you're like, no. You're like, crush you.
Yeah, what letter was green in Google? Was it the O or the G?
Like, come on. I used to hate that so much. Now, when I see stuff, I'm like, I'm sure it's someone important. I don't know who it is. Which I feel insulting like now because I feel like I like to learn about you, but I know this is going to go horribly wrong because Googling is the hardest thing in the world. Even though, God, I love my stepdaughter. Do you know what? What? Do you know I found my great-grandfather's information on Google? And I was like, yeah, I can see that. Mm-hmm. Well, no, how? And I was like, well, I believe it's Shannon's mom's dad was in the military. And after so long, it becomes public knowledge.
Yeah.
She goes, I didn't know Google could do that. I was like, well, no, Google, okay.
It's not Google doing
it. I'm like, okay. She's like, I want to look up more. And I'm like, okay. And so she comes back, she goes, I can't find anything about his wife. And I was like, because she wasn't in the military. So it's not public knowledge.
Right.
Like,
you only get he didn't have a Facebook account. You can find his Facebook.
I'm like, okay. She's like, I didn't know you could look up people. I'm like, yeah, like you.
Hello?
I'm like, what? She's like, I didn't know.
She's never Googled
yourself?
You
know? Yeah, I know. I've Googled myself. You can find out where I live, what's my phone numbers. You can find out, like, You really can find out.
I mean, I guess it's common knowledge anyway, but
that's really amazing what you really can find out if you really want.
Right.
And that's the stuff you don't pay for.
Right.
Because you can pay for stuff to unlock even more.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, yeah, it is. Because they know how much you bought your house, how much you did this, how much did that. If you have leases, if you have, like, you just like,
yeah.
You know, you're like, what the? And she's like, oh my God. And I get it. She's only 16, but it's like, you're just kind of like, whole new world.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
It's crazy that she's 16. She didn't know that.
Yeah, I feel like.
Was that like my generation thing that you Googled yourself all the time?
I don't know about you, but I will literally now when Facebook people pop up, I'm always like, Google. I do. I go like, I don't know who you are, and you don't have anything for Google, and they'll be like, and then if they don't have like pictures or things that and I'll go, you're not a real person.
Well, I search their profile. I don't Google them.
Yeah, but if their profile,
if there's nothing on it, then you're not getting my.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Acceptance. Like if you don't have certain things, there's certain things, and even the pictures, you go, you're too new, or this is fake, or unless I truly know who you are. So you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I had to do some serious searching with Ashley. I was like, I am not accepting this one.
I wouldn't either. I still have it.
To be honest with you, I got in trouble. I got in trouble. I actually got her in trouble.
Oh yeah, because mom didn't know about her profile.
Was it Lori? We were talking. Someone was talking to me and said, "Oh, did you get a friend's request from Ashley?" And I said, "Yeah, I haven't accepted it yet. I'm probably going to accept it."
Bitch.
No, it was like
yeah.
Because your mom was really hooked on, and I was like, I don't want to seem creepy or anything, so I was like, no, not yet. Your mom was like, she has a what now? And shit, I remember we were
like, she has a face that she puts her book in all the time.
Googling. She's the blue O. She's Googling. And I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. This is before she hated me, so
I did the same thing. I made a profile before my mom. Let me.
Yeah.
But it was like a month before my birthday, so.
Oh yeah.
You were real big deal.
You were living life.
Risque. Like,
12 and a half, bitches. Not 13 yet.
I am 12 and 11 months.
She's like burnt. I know how to.
F you, mom.
F you, Facebook. I'm never 13 yet. I'm saying I'm 13.
Oh yeah, I put my birthday like. Damn, bitch. No gag on him. Sorry. That was fucked up. I was like, check his whole
I
mouth.
just want to know how you noticed on that end. Wait a minute. When my students are researching, we have to constantly remind them they have Google. Yeah,
Google is searching another data.
Okay, so so again, I think you guys are going to be too young for this, but in my day, I remember I'd be like, I used to have a English teacher the one I talk about, the one that we talk about, your father and Pat was in all the time, would said if you didn't know how to spell something, he'd go, it's a good thing to go to the library and get a dictionary or go and look, and you're like,
if I don't know how to spell it, how am I supposed to find it?
Exactly what I used to say, and you'd be like, "Well, sound it out," and I'd be like,
"Okay, but have you met have you learned the English dictionary itself? Because most of the sounds don't make sense."
And God help, we're not even going to talk about the silent ones,
right? Maeve started reading to me, and it's the cutest thing, and she is very good at it.
Right.
There are some words where like she'll be like trying to sound it out. I'm like, well, that one's actually a very tricky one because it doesn't make those sounds. But so it's part so of that cute.
Generation that was told yes. Okay, so I know Ashley's a little bit. She's in that borderline where.
Well, I was a terrible speller, so I was never like.
I already talked about my parents went out. Now I'm going to say this, and it doesn't seem like my parents went out and bought a $200 spell check for me. So it was like this thing that was about like this big, and it looked like a little typewriter, like little. It was bigger than a calculator, but it looked like a between a calculator and a thing. And you would have to type it, and then it would come,
Actually, didn't you have one of those?
And then it would come up.
Yeah.
Right. And half the time it would say
Wrong.
error.
Yeah.
Don't know. And I'd be like,
Mom, this is working great. I'm so glad you spent $200 on this shit.
And it was like, I remember it was like, because I'm the one that's like, I spell what I hear.
Right.
So it's like, I'm always like, I can't even think of a word right now. But it's always like,
Your mom still has it. Oh, good, Georgette's doing a lot of great.
Well, $200.
I hope you get your $200 back.
I remember being so.
Is it an antique now?
Yeah, so, it has to be an antique because
could you get good money for that?
I had to be a freshman or sophomore year when we got those.
But small. Wait, what? I still have. But smaller than a bread box? No, I didn't have a spell checker.
Yeah. Oh, it was about this big. It was thick too.
Wait, what's a bread box about?
You don't about how the size of it. But you remember what a do you? Now?
I know what a bread box is, but where did that come from?
From me explaining the size of.
Okay.
Follow along.
We moved on, so it's hard.
No, not yet. Hold on.
Gag a little.
No, and I remember it would say error, or it'd be like, word not found, and I'd be like, I think. Or the worst is when you spell something, my big thing is knowing the word, spelling the wrong word, and trying to get the right word out. Mm-hmm. So, like there, it'd be like, okay, it'd be like THERE, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, you're right. And I'm like, no. I don't want that there. I want the other there. I just don't know how to spell the other there because every time I think of there, I think of that there because when I sound it out, that makes sense. THEIR is there, okay. But in my head, all I can think is THERE, and it's like that's there too. And I know the there I'm writing isn't the there I want. I just can't remember how to spell.
So I still have this problem.
No, you don't. Just for the record, I'm proud of myself because normally I spell there on my phone, IE, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's the only one I know.
It's like, I always mess this up, bro. Work with me here. Because I do that I before E, except what?
Yeah, except never.
I'm like neighbor and way, and then I'm like, so the I should go first. Nope, E go first. I'm like,
They recommended it for kids to fix it. Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense if you don't know how to fucking spell.
I know. The worst is when it has that one letter that you're like,
I don't know.
Yeah, you're like,
I don't have the like which there to use problem. I have like I know how to spell it this way, but I don't know like what the actual context is.
Oh.
Let me give an example.
Please do. I love that we can show our handicaps off.
Yeah. So Sam said something to me, and like something happened, and it's like she got karma or whatever.
Right.
Or like some bad things kept happening. It was like, oh, you had bad juju.
Right.
I spelled it.
Oh, please do not tell me. Oh, no, please tell me. Please tell me you spelled it with an E-W. That's J-U. I did the J-U. You did the J-W.
That didn't even come across my mind. But I would, before I said to him, like, that doesn't look right. But I was sending it, like, that doesn't look right.
I literally I wish I had long hair so I could just make curls. Just send it to you. Be like, I'm getting my juju on.
So Sam sends back, all caps, juju, and like what I wrote, and then the next one was like, J-U, I was like, God damn it.
No.
And that's the worst part because I hear things wrong too.
I just want you to know
Yeah.
You want my spirit animal? And from now on, and anyone has a problem, I'll be like, you got some bad juju. Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Yeah, I do it all the time. Because I'm just like, I don't know the right way to spell that. And a lot of times I have to like, I come up with like really good things.
Yeah.
And if I was in person, then it would be so funny. But I don't know how to spell what I'm trying to say.
Yes. I am the king of 4-letter words. As soon as we go to the 5th letter, I'm screwed.
I don't know.
I swear. I'm like, Jan's like, sometimes you sound like you're 5. And I'm like, because that's how the only way I can communicate.
I only had speech until 5. And then I had LD, but drool kid. This guy only knew how to say drool. And that's all I learned.
All he knew how to do was ju.
We had contests all the time. He won.
I gotta tell you this.
Okay.
In my day, we had to go, we all went to the Portsmouth Middle School. I know not everyone else did, but I know you and Ashley did. My mom's been there too, so I know you know the big auditorium.
Yeah.
They used to make us all go down to the auditorium to stand on stage to do the spelling bee. And you couldn't get out of it. You had to do it. And I remember...
I have a lot of trauma with spelling bees.
Right, yeah, okay.
I was the first one out every time. Go ahead.
So, I remember they didn't do it for 5th grade, but I did it for like 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I remember being in 7th grade and being an LD and going up going, what is wrong with the system?
Yeah.
And I am told that I'm broken. You're going to put me on stage to spell?
Right.
Because and you know what? I'm going to tell you something, and it's hands down. And you're going to think I'm crazy, but I swear to God. Second I get on stage, right? Because you would have to line up, and then you just, the person would go, and they would say, cat. And they would say C-A-T and walk off the stage. First round, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, then you hear dog, right? And you hear bat. And you're like, oh, I can get at least past the first round. Like, at least when it comes to a hard word, I'm thinking I'm going to get to that really hard word. And then it's going to be like, oh, Niles, that was really hard. 3 people ahead of you were out, right? All 3-letter, 4-letter. Well, how do you spell what? And I'm like, oh, this is so easy. Get to me. Supercalifragilistic. I was like, what? I remember the first time I was like, that guy just had cat. We had dog. Why do I have a 6-letter word? And they're like, that's your word. I'm like, I'm out. I'm not even doing it. I was like, I'm out. I didn't know how to spell that. Sir, I'm like, K. Bye. I was so mad. I remember like stomping off stage. Like, this is bullshit. I didn't say it, but I was like, this is some bullshit. Everyone else had like 4 3-letter words. They whipped out this like, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like.
In 3rd grade, I got out because I couldn't spell brown. And then I cried, and my teacher had to calm me down. And I like literally had a panic attack over it. My 3rd grade teacher, God bless her.
Spelling bee before middle school.
We did it in like, I think 2nd grade we started.
I'm blessed. I
got out that time too. I think I had like circle.
Every time after that, I just went up stage. Because again, they tried to do an 8th grade, and I walked right up. I'm like, okay. I just would say a letter and just walk. I just walk.
It's so humiliating.
And no, it's not that. It's just I felt like,
because
there were
for
kids
me,
that
I'm
would
just
study.
like showing that I'm.
There were
delayed.
kids that would study, and I would go, why don't you just have the kids that study? Like, and I believe
have the people who want to do it.
Right. And they did end up doing that, but until when I wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, you know what?
I think like middle school, or like late middle school, they started doing it like whenever, like you could sign up to do it.
Right.
And then you had to like.
But I didn't have that option. And I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah. And of course, everyone got these words. So I was like, well, at least I'll get past the first round. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking, like, I won't be that stupid. And then I was like,
But like, what is the point of a spelling bee? What are you trying to prove?
I know.
I'm taking the test.
I am going to tell you something, and I wonder if Ashley agrees with this, because I always wonder.
What's your take on a spelling bee?
No, not on spelling bee.
But what's your take on it?
My take on something that I find a lot of young people are doing. and it's always been this way, but it is now to a new level in my view. I see too many kids who can get the answer, spit the answer, but then go into the world and don't know what they're doing.
Mm.
Like they don't know. Like I know quite a few kids or young adults that I've seen or I'm on Facebook or I associated with who graduate college from their um, a profession, if you will, because it's all different. Some accounting, some other thing, and they're like, I really don't know what I'm doing. And you're like, how do you spend 4 years in college and you don't know how to do books or whatever it is?
Right.
And it's always like, well, I need hand-on training, and you're like, then why did you go to college?
Right.
I don't know what like I find like I see a lot of that, and or the big thing is now they go to college for and then they go in the workforce for like
something completely
different. You're like, why did you waste your time and energy?
Right.
And they're like, oh no, but I got this nice little trophy.
You know how many people I went to hair school with, and they're not even doing hair.
Yeah.
I think there's like 5 of us doing hair.
It's
out of the hundreds of.
Well, I also feel too, and animals. When it comes to like specialty things, specialty things. A lot of people think, oh, this is going to be fun, and the second they get in, they go, this isn't fun.
But they didn't even have that mentality in school. It's like, why are you going to school for this?
Yeah, but a lot of them think like, I can't tell you how many people like. I know a young lady right now, which I like, but she's like, oh, I got a job petting animals at a shelter, and I decided to be a dog groomer. And it's like, okay, petting animals and loving animals doesn't equal being a dog groomer, because you're working. Not that we don't love the animals, but you don't have time. Like your customers, you don't have time to sit there and play with your customers because you have to do that.
They might talk back.
No.
Well, you do have the anal glands. Anal sex, sorry. That is one specialty you do offer. Good for you.
Try it out. For you?
And do they gag?
Oh, God. Not like you.
That's right, bitch. That's right.
But I always see that, and I go, what do you? And it's always like, well, this was more work than I thought.
Yeah.
It's work. All of it's work. Even when people say I love my job, there's always part of the job they don't like, but they like enough of the job that you go, okay.
Yeah.
And it's the different things. Like, I don't mind.
I love my job, but there are some people who I'm like, please don't return. Or it's like, I had a customer a couple of weeks ago. Oh my God, I have to tell you about a different customer. But I had a customer.
I got a customer story too.
Okay. I had a customer come in and she's like, she's the mother of another customer. Ow, mother. Of another customer I have. And she was like, she wants a new style, but she doesn't know what she wants. So she comes in and sits in my chair and she's like, well, my hair only does this. And if you do it this way, it doesn't do this. And if you don't do it this way, and she has short hair. So I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? Like if you, and then I tried to like suggest different things. She's like, well, no, I don't think I like that. Why are you here? If you're not gonna like anything I say, then obviously you don't want your haircut right now.
Yeah. No, we get that. We get the, what do you think we should do? Whatever you want to do to some degree, depends on whatever. And then they're like, but this is what probably the best. Oh, no, I don't want that. Then you know what you want. What do you want? Right. But you don't have to, you can't say that. So it becomes, what about this? What about that? And then your eye starts twitching and then you're like,
And it's like, do you have any
extensions?
No. Do you have any like hair books? Yeah, but they're from the 90s. So do you want that? Or let me pull something up on my phone because let's get into the time here. Or it's like, why don't you come in with a picture? So that way I know like what you're trying to achieve here.
We we had a customer come in, and it's so funny because we were just talking about the whole
Bye, Georgette. Love you,
bye.
Bob. Love you, Georgette.
Dad calls. Bye.
What's it calling?
I don't know. He called.
Ghostbusters.
So we had a customer come in and say he went to go get, his dog is 5, went to go get the dog's teeth cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
They found broken teeth, so he had to spend over, like, I'll just say it's close to $2,000 to have all these teeth removed.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I said, "Well, was he having a hard time eating?" Oh no, he was chewing antler deer antlers that we buy them and stuff like that, all natural stuff they chew on. I'm like, so if he didn't have a problem eating,
why do we care?
How do we know he has broken teeth? Because I don't know about you, but when you have a broken tooth, you don't chew on nothing,
right?
Or you act like something. And he was like, "Oh," and I kind of felt bad because I felt like I know what he felt like, because it's one of those, you really have to know your animal / child. That's why I was telling your sister. It's like they're kids, and you have to figure them out.
Yeah.
But if you know he's having or she's having a problem chewing, then something's wrong with the mouth.
Right.
But if nothing's wrong with chewing, you can't fall for all that. Yeah. You got to be like, something's not right, because that's how they make money.
Right.
And it's like, she's like, "Well, I didn't think it was a big deal because my sister or whatever just had a $4,000 dental cleaning." I'm like, wow, like, like, we're talking about dogs here. We're talking about animals. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to say like I don't care, but they're just like humans. Eventually, their teeth are gonna fall out just like humans do. It's like, obviously, if they have a tender tooth and not eating, and you're like, "What's wrong?" You touch his mouth and it's yup, and you're like, got something going on. We gotta go in and get looked. But if they're not doing that, you gotta be smart about this stuff. And the same as human beings, you gotta always be on top of these things, because too many people, I found out in the healthcare, it's just out for the moolah, or what they can do more than it is what you think. Right. Crazy world.
Well, it's about that time. Mom never showed up.
But Ashley did. It's close enough.
Oh yeah, same people.
Far from it. Right. I'm surprised I'm not going to get a little finger, like middle finger.
You might.
Yeah. I already know I'm number 1.
Well, maybe we'll see you next week. Last week I was like, I'll see you next week.
Make sure, guys, keep gagging.
Yeah, gag on. Amen to that.